For many WWE superstars, the ring has ended up being the place where they've spent the best years of their lives. However, many wrestlers didn't always seek to be in the ring. The exceptional physiques of figures like Bianca Belair, Pat McAfee, or Mark Henry were already on display while they were succeeding in sports outside of WWE. However, they're not the only ones. There are more superstars who were headed for completely different paths. Well, that's why I'll stop talking now, and today I'll introduce you to WWE wrestlers who failed in other sports. I think it's more than appropriate to start by talking about the biggest name in WWE today, Roman Reigns. After all, Roman is living proof that no matter how many times you fail or how many doors close on you in a sport, you can still reach the absolute pinnacle of success. Early on, Roman seemed destined for college trophies instead of wrestling titles. After playing football in high school and even being named Defensive Player of the Year by the Pensacola News-Journal in his senior year, it was clear to everyone that he had a natural talent for extreme physical competition. Since high school, Roman continued his efforts in football, going on to play as a defensive tackle for Georgia Tech in college. There, his value in the sports market only grew through truly impressive performances. He proved to be a real powerhouse, even earning first-team honors. It's no wonder that to this day, Roman uses a spear as his finishing move, considering how dominant he was with that maneuver outside the ring for so many years. From there, Roman entered the NFL, bouncing between the Vikings, the Jaguars, and the Edmonton team in the CFL. At first glance, it seemed like everything was going well for Roman Reigns, and he probably could have had a successful and long career in professional football. But sadly, unlike the rest of the athletes I'll mention in this video, Roman was forced to leave the NFL due to his own serious health complications. It's no secret these days that Roman has been battling leukemia off and on throughout his life, and unfortunately it was this illness that ultimately took him away from the NFL for good. According to what he himself has said, his medical condition played a decisive role in the Vikings' decision not to formally select him since he didn't pass his physical exam. With his NFL dreams seeming more and more unlikely, he made the decision to hang up his football cleats and trade them for a pair of wrestling boots. The rest, as they say, is history. But while Roman Reigns left football to pursue a career in professional wrestling, Batista decided to take a completely different route. After becoming a household name in WWE by winning multiple world titles and dominating television, Batista left the company in 2010, stating that he simply wasn't happy with the direction the company was going. The Animal chose to find a new challenge in the dangerous world of mixed martial arts. Not only had he not had any real MMA training before this endeavor, but he was also entering the sport at a much older age than he probably should have. Sure, you might say, the guy is built like a tank, but Batista was entering this world of combat in his 40s, compared to many other fighters in the UFC who are usually in their prime in their 20s or 30s. However, Batista seemed to take all the necessary precautions to have the best and most rewarding experience possible. First of all, his only MMA fight was in CES MMA. Obviously, with this fight he realized that a big stage like the UFC would be a bit too much for him and also for his skill set. Batista stepped into the cage on October 1, 2012, ready to test himself, and in a truly impressive performance, he was able to secure the victory over his opponent by technical knockout in the first round. Given Batista's success, one might think he would return, but looking at what Batista is doing these days, it's hard to imagine anyone saying he made the wrong decision. After this fight, he obviously went on to shine in Hollywood as Drax the Destroyer, so really, he couldn't go wrong. While Batista was drawing attention in WWE, future superstars like Baron Corbin were watching, thinking that their future, like Roman Reigns, would be on the football field. Corbin's path through sports reached a similar plateau for completely different reasons. After attending Northeast Missouri State University, Corbin's college career impressed NFL scouts. In 2009, he was signed by the Indianapolis Colts, where he met a young Pat McAfee during his time there. Corbin admits that being around a guy like McAfee is what really kept him from growing in the sport. Seeing the level of talent around him, he realized he had to work really hard, but he would have to do it outside of any team because there really wouldn't be a spot for him. Corbin would be far from being called up for any important match. He would soon be fired, and he decided to use his athletic experience as a way to get into the ring. But if Varun thought that way about the players around him, imagine how CM Punk probably felt when he looked at other UFC fighters around him in 2014. If we go back to the world of mixed martial arts, Punk already had a huge mountain to climb. He was not only 38 years old, but he had also left WWE precisely because of a huge number of injuries. Making the transition from WWE to UFC was quite a big challenge for him. And that's not even the worst part. Unlike Batista, who humbly chose to fight in a small promotion, Punk decided to use his star power to get signed directly by the UFC. However, his career would begin at UFC 203 against Mickey Gall. As soon as the fight started, it was clear that Pong had bitten off more than he could chew. In 2 minutes and 14 seconds, he submitted to a brutal hold. Still, he got a massive payout of $500,000 just for his name. Mixed martial arts fans went against him, and after a second embarrassing fight in 2018 against Mike Jackson, he ended up losing by unanimous decision. Even Dana White suggested he retire, which he did. He would eventually return to WWE in 2023. Finally, The Undertaker offers us a different perspective. In the 1980s, the Deadman played college basketball as a member of the Texas Wesleyan Rams, impressing many European coaches. He had a contract to earn $80,000 a year, which in 1985, money is a lot. While he was training, he met someone who insisted that he join professional wrestling. Taker started to see that maybe wrestling would be a better strategy for him than basketball. For him, it was about longevity. He knew that basketball careers are usually short, while wrestling offered long-term success. And looking back, he was right. Not only did he go down in history as a legend, but he also had a 30-year career. For many, it's clear that WWE is the ultimate destination. These examples show that success in sports entertainment doesn't always translate to success in other sports, but looking back, it's hard to say that many ended up in a bad place. Take this as an inspiring lesson, even if you feel that the path you're following is destined for failure. That doesn't mean you can't take the skills you've gained so far to head down a new path.